Business Expo. How have you enjoyed this so far? Yeah? We have the mayor of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel, in the building. Let's welcome Mayor Emanuel.
Please, have a seat. Please sit down. First of all, I want to congratulate everybody for, please sit down, don't worry about it. You'll make me feel like I'm at my bar mitzvah or something like that. Sit down. I am so proud to partner with this event from my office, Office of New Americans, and all the other organizations of the city that are partnering here to help businesses and entrepreneurs and family-owned businesses get their roots, learn what they need to know, get all the expertise, sometimes from a city side. I know if I find this shocking, we can be pretty confusing to people. And the goal here is not for the city to make a new business jump through our hoops, but to actually smooth the pavement off so we're not a speed bump, but help you accelerate and get your business open and your business operating. Just the other day, I was with Google on the not too far south side, about 3500 south, and they were doing a forum for small businesses. 700 had signed up, how to get their web page up and running. 58%, no, it was higher than that. It was 78% of businesses do not have a web page, a basic piece you would think today for commerce. And businesses that have a web page, just a web page, grow 40% faster than those without. And so it was a whole attempt by my administration to continue to help small businesses open up and operate. And I want to applaud everybody for their efforts today. So everybody knows, new businesses, new startup businesses, nearly 50% of them are started by recent immigrants. If you're pro-immigrant, you're pro-small business. And if you're pro-small business, you can't do it without being pro-immigrant. The two go hand in hand. So I want to applaud everybody here in the room for what they're doing. Now, I also say that as the grandson of an immigrant. My grandfather came to Chicago in 1917. He was 13 years old, by himself. Came here to meet a third cousin he had never met from Eastern Europe. He put the roots down of our family in Chicago. That's on my mother's side. He basically was a truck driver here in the city of Chicago and settled the family in Albany Park. I kind of have a joke because when he settled the family in Albany Park, my father, who was an immigrant, came from Israel. He opened up his medical practice as a pediatrician near Albany Park. My uncle was a police officer in the city of Chicago as a sergeant in Albany Park. I was a congressman that represented Albany Park. The Emanuel family traveled many miles. We just didn't go anywhere. But the truth is, that is the same story. The story of Albany Park is the same story in Humboldt Park. It's the same story in Washington Park. It's the same story in Jefferson Park. It's a story of immigrants, some from this country who came to Chicago, some from other parts of the world, who all came to give their families a piece of the American dream. And there's nothing more essential to that American dream than your own businesses. We are a stronger city because of what happens in our communities, in our neighborhoods, in our ethnic groups, all who are starting their businesses, all who are making an effort. Now I want to say how important this is also to the city in this key way. Chicago is the only inland city that has an international economic footprint. If you're in Seattle, you look to the Pacific and San Diego. If you're Houston or Miami, you look to Latin America. If you're New York or Boston, you look to Europe. Chicago is the only city in America that's not on the coast, but has an international economic footprint. We are the inland port of America. Because of our airport, you can get anywhere in the world, anywhere in the country directly. Because of our rail, 25% of all cargo comes through Chicago. Because of our roads, an equal amount on our trucks. We move, if it runs on runways, rail, or roads, Chicago's its place. And all of you who come from another part of the world, whatever part of the world you come from, our cultural ties, because we're a city of immigrants, and our economic structure and our foundation, our infrastructure, because of those two attributes, we are an economic juggernaut in moving goods and services throughout this country and throughout the world. And so you have a natural tie that's essential for the city's economic growth. And as the mayor, I want to partner with you. I want to make sure the city's helping you. That's why this forum is so important. It's so essential for the success of the city. And I say that also because I want to tell just a little, if I could, anecdote. And that is two recent events. One was the Nobel laureates. The city of Chicago was the first time ever in the country we hosted all 14 Nobel Peace laureates here. And I want you to think about this, what I was just saying about Chicago's economic embedded strength. I was at von Steuben High School. That's where my mother went when she was an immigrant. Thank you. So sometimes that's exactly what I say to my mother. When my mother went to von Steuben, it was basically all Jewish. Today, von Steuben has 126 nationalities in that school. I introduced a student who was going to introduce Mikhail Gorbachev. Mikhail Gorbachev, as you know, was the president, or the chairman in the Soviet Union, who basically allowed through glasnost the ending of the division of Europe. I introduced a young woman from Yemen. Her family had come to Chicago in 2005. In Yemen, she wasn't allowed to go to 8th grade. She's graduating first in her class at von Steuben and is on her way to a 4-year, all-paid expenses tuition to Northwestern University. Only in America and only in Chicago. 126 nationalities. A young woman from Yemen introduced the former president of the Soviet Union in front of 126 different nationalities. Every one of us that are here representing was in that schoolroom. Do not ever tell me that that diversity is not the strength of this city. And don't ever bet against the kids of the city of Chicago. They are the best kids in this country. You give them a shot at a good education, and they'll take you where you need to go. So to all the immigrants who are here, to all the immigrants like my family who came before, and to all the immigrants that are going to come, I want Chicago to be what it was for my grandfather, a place where you could put your family down, where you could see your dream become a reality, and where you can make sure that we as Americans put our welcome mat out, because if you're here, you're going to put your roots down, and we're going to be a much stronger city. And if we're a stronger city, given where the world is going, our diversity will be our strength, because we have one common purpose: a great city. Thank you, and God bless you.
Very good.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me.
All right, guys.
You're doing a great job, sir.
Hi, Mayor.
Go up.
Came out late.
You got anything for here?
Oh, 这张很好。
Somebody wants to become president? Yeah, that's the deal.